Okay, back at it, part three. So what we did in the last video is we went through the extra credit journals. We talked about how to find them. Also, that 6, 7, and 8, you guys each have a different amount to write down for your extra credit 5 points. And then obviously 1 through 10 on this page, each one of those you would have to write your 1 page, 3/4 page, or half page. You'd have to do that for every single one. So 10 would be a page, 9 would be a page, 8 would be a page, etc., etc. Okay, so just want to make sure that that was clear. And I'm actually going to close out of my webcam here so we can focus on the next parts um, of what I'm going to tell you about, which is the essay number 1. So that was the one that was about John Philip Sousa and his musical career. And I will read that to you. Closing this again here. I will read that to you in case you don't have. You should have your copy, and it was part of your packet. But in case it got lost somehow, it says to write a multi-paragraph response in which you analyze John Philip Sousa's musical career. In your writing, consider what skills and characteristics help Sousa become successful. Your response must be based on ideas and information that can be found in the passages. Manage your time carefully so you can review the passages, plan your response, write your response, and revise and edit your response. So obviously, if you were taking this during a testing time, you would have limited time to work on that. You'd have to make sure, okay, that you reviewed the passages that you read, you planned out what you were going to write, you wrote it, and then you went over it to make sure there weren't any mistakes. So that's what you would do in a normal testing setting. And once we get back into things with school, we'll be working on that timing. But for right now, I want to focus on the writing part. So it says, be sure to include an introduction, use evidence from the passages to support your explanation, your thesis statement. We'll talk about that later. Avoid overly relying on one passage. So if there's 2 passages, please use both of them. If there's 1, just use 1. If there's 3, use 3. And then the last one, include a conclusion. It says, write your multi-paragraph response in the space provided. I don't think I can highlight on this, but again, if it is a multi-paragraph response, that means that you cannot just have one. So again, back in my screen here for the Google Drive folder, I'm going to open up the Sousa Band essay questions, which brings me to the paper that you guys had, which will look something like this. So it says that for the outline checklist, these are going to be the things that you want to focus on. So the first part for your introduction, we talked through this, and in some classes we actually wrote down and copied down an introduction. I will try to make sure, I took a picture of that before we left. I will try to make sure that I post that in Class Dojo and Class Tag, maybe even on my blog as well. So the first part for your intro paragraph, it should be around 3 to 5 sentences introducing what it is that we are going to be talking about. And again, if you go back to that other page, what are we going to be talking about? How John Philip Sousa's musical career, how it was, and then also how his skills and characteristics helped him to become successful. So that's what should be in our essay there, especially in our introduction. Now, don't forget that we made checklists on our own talking about the different steps to write an essay. And I can make a separate video about that, but I just wanted to make sure I broke everything down for this packet first. So paragraph 2, which is actually your first body paragraph, that's going to be your first main idea. Now, if you remember in your introduction paragraph, you should have 3 main ideas in there because again, in our question, in our prompt that we looked at, it's asking us number 1 about his musical career, number 2 what skills he had, and number 3 what characteristics he had. And all 3 of those things, his career, his skills, and his characteristics, helped him to become successful. So our first body paragraph, which is paragraph 2, is showing us our first main idea. And we came up with what was his career like and how was it successful. So when you're writing that paragraph 2, the main idea, the main sentence that you'll be introducing that paragraph with will be telling about what his career was like and how was it successful. Okay. Now, the second body paragraph, which is paragraph 3 in total, is going to be about your second main idea. What were his skills that contributed to his success? So, in that second body paragraph and third paragraph total, I'll talk about it in a second, it answers these questions.